chance of being the funny one in the family for once, so I have a serious reading. A precious treasure that will forever remain priceless is someone most of us tend to take for granted. The treasure being alluded to is your mother, who forges a unique bond with her baby that very few can understand and appreciate. Right through childhood and adulthood, a mother nurtures you and molds you, just like a potter molds his pots. You may have experienced the good times and the bad times in each stage of your life, but your mother is sure to be by your side, clasping your hand and taking you out of your troubles. Her love for you only amplifies exponentially, and no matter what happens, she will never make you feel miserable. Her very presence is enough to elevate your sulking mood, even though you may complain that your mom is irritating, nagging, exacting, annoying, and judgmental, who gets your goat and who makes you fly off the handle. You can be certain of one thing. You are bound to sorely miss your mother, especially when either you or she is away from home. It is only when you miss her most that you realize the significance of your mother and the warmth of her comforting presence. However, we often tend to take their presence and support for granted. We ought to remember that we owe a lot to moms who have stood by us through the thick and thin and never complained to others about us. The second Sunday of every May is a special occasion, calling for great celebration to honor one's mother and shower her with love and affection. The tradition of celebrating Mother's Day was introduced by Anna Jarvis in the year 1912. It was the result of an active bout of campaigning that resulted in setting aside a single day in the year dedicated solely to mothers. Ever since then, Mother's Day is celebrated with great fervor all over the world. As there can be nothing as powerful as a mother's love, it has triggered many a poet's creative instincts who have penned their emotions in a simple yet profound way. And I just want to end with this poem that reminds me a lot of my mom. Meanest mother in the world. I had the meanest mother in the world. While other kids had candy for breakfast, I had to eat cereal, eggs, and toast. While other kids had cakes and candy for lunch, I had a sandwich. As you can guess, my dinner was different from other kids' dinner too. My mother insisted on knowing where we were at all times. You'd think we were on a chain game or something. She had to know who our friends were and what we were doing. I am ashamed to admit it, but she actually had the nerve to break the child labor law. She made us work. We had to wash dishes, make the beds, and learn how to cook. That woman must have stayed awake nights thinking up things for us kids to do, and she insisted that we tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. By the time we were teenagers, she was much wiser, and our life became more unbearable. None of this tooting the car horn for us to come running. She embarrassed us to no end by insisting that friends come to the door to get us. I forgot to mention that most of our friends were allowed to date at the mature age of 12 or 13. But our old-fashioned mother refused to let us date until we were 16. She raised a bunch of squares. None of us were ever arrested for shoplifting or busted for dope. And who do we have to thank for this? You're right, our mean mother. I am trying to raise my children to stand a little straighter and taller, and I am secretly tickled to pieces when my children call me mean. I thank God for giving me the meanest mother in the world, and our country doesn't need a good 5-cent cigar. It needs a little more mean mothers like mine. Blessings to all the wonderful and mean